Between being a part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, playing Gamora in Guardians of the Galaxy, and now reprising her role as Neytiri in Avatar: The Way of the Water, it's fair to say Zoe Saldaña has been thriving in Hollywood. Her crowning achievement, however, would have to be her role in the Avatar film franchise. Today, we'll talk about the actress's reaction to seeing herself reprise the role once again for the upcoming film. Starting with Zoe Saldaña's reaction to seeing herself again as Neytiri. American-born actress Zoe Saldaña has achieved a feat many in Hollywood can only ever dream of. The actress holds the distinction of starring in 3 out of 5 of the highest-grossing films ever made. This includes her role as Gamora in Avengers: Endgame and Avengers: Infinity War, and, of course, her motion capture role as Neytiri in the highest-grossing film of all time, Avatar.
Not bad for a girl from Queens.
Claimed Saldaña when discussing the enormous feat on The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. Saldaña claimed that there was never any strategic plan to select the highest-grossing films of all time, and that it was nothing more than sheer luck. The actress went on to discuss her upcoming film and reprising her 2009 role. Without giving away too many spoilers, Saldaña cheekily revealed that the film was about water. An emotional Saldaña then went on to talk about the first time she saw herself back in her role during the final cut and claimed that it was a surreal experience. Avatar: Way of the Water is the second installment in James Cameron's planned 5-part franchise. Per the franchise creator's admission, the film would have to be the 4th highest-grossing film of all time to break even. With a budget of around $350 to $400 million, the film's already amongst the most expensive ones produced to date. Fingers crossed. Moreover, the casting process for Avatar was surreal. You don't get to be part of the biggest film franchise in history and not have the skill set to back it up. However, with a film as grueling as Avatar, the casting directors wanted a lot more in addition to exceptional acting prowess from the lead actress. Saldaña recalled being pitched the role and asked to come in wearing the tightest clothes she had and just do cartwheels. The actress claimed that while the request was bizarre, she was told by her agent that the film was about a robot warrior princess in the jungle. So basically, she was ready for just about anything. She then claimed that after showing the casting directors her extraordinary cartwheeling abilities, they asked her to mimic a few sounds. Today, you'll know those sounds as distinct Neytiri sounds, but to Saldaña back then, it was robotic gibberish. Recalling the first time she met James Cameron, Saldaña stated that after she was chosen to be one of the casting director's final picks for the role, they flew her out to Los Angeles, where she was given 3 hours to go through the script for the first Avatar film. Per Saldaña's admission, she took 6 hours because of how incredibly detailed Cameron had made the world of Pandora. She was then taken to Cameron's office, where the director showed her a figure of Neytiri and asked her, "Are you ready to meet yourself?" The rest, as they say, is history. Moving on, Avatar: Way of the Water was delayed for close to a decade. Before the first installment in the Avatar film franchise was released in 2009, creator, producer, and director James Cameron stated in a 2006 interview that he had 2 sequels planned for the franchise should the first film become a hit. Not only was Avatar a massive success, it was the highest-grossing film of all time. The incredible feat was the boost in confidence Cameron needed to write and develop a screenplay for subsequent sequels. It might be interesting to note that Way of the Water was originally scheduled for a 2014 release. The film is about 8 years too late. Why the delay, though? According to Cameron, the script had to be changed several times to accommodate the latest innovations in cinematic technology. For example, he'd write the screenplay once, but would be informed of the latest innovations in capture motions the next day, and then go back to the drawing board. At one point, Cameron decided he'd only proceed with development after the creative industry made strides in developing capture motion scenes shot underwater, a feat that was virtually unheard of back in the day. Preliminary shooting and principal photography for the film began back in 2017, and filming officially wrapped up in 2020. Wait, what? How come Way of the Water, arguably the most anticipated film of the 21st century, hasn't been released yet? Truthfully, we don't know. The film has been subject to numerous delays, partly due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and because Cameron wanted to release the film at a time when audiences would only be focusing on Avatar. Luckily, an official release date has been announced for December 2022, and we can't wait. Coming up next, Saldaña's family enjoys the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise as much as she does. Zoe Saldaña had an interesting tale to tell when Jimmy Fallon broached the subject of Volume 3, the possibly final installment of the Guardians of the Galaxy franchise. The mother of 3 claimed that she took her 3 boys to Disney World, where her youngest, 5-year-old Zen, wanted to ride on the Tower of Terror. That is, the amusement ride dedicated to the Guardians of the Galaxy. She claimed that her kids were thrilled to take the ride, but had no idea that their mother wasn't just a feature of the ride, she was the main attraction. Saldaña hilariously recalled her 5-year-old being terrified after the ride and giving his mother the side-eye once they were safely back on the ride. We talked about the American actress being the second highest grossing actress of all time, but another one of her many accomplishments would have to be the fact that she has not one, but 2 rides featuring her characters, Avatar and Guardians of the Galaxy. Now that's impressive. Furthermore, wrapping up Volume 3 was a bittersweet experience for Saldaña. Marvel's inclusion of the irreverent but otherwise endearing Guardians of the Galaxy family was their addition of space-bound characters in the otherwise grounded franchise. However, their risk paid off in 2014 when the first installment of Guardians of the Galaxy was warmly received by fans all over the world. We last saw the group of galactic misfits briefly in Thor: Love and Thunder, as well as in the James Gunn-directed Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special. But one character who wasn't part of the main ensemble in both appearances was Zoe Saldaña's Gamora. Gamora's journey came to an impromptu halt in Avengers: Infinity War when she, as well as several other characters, was killed off by Thanos. Many believed that was the last they'd ever see of Saldaña's iconic character. But the MCU revived her as well as the rest of the killed-off lot in Avengers: Infinity War. However, this time, Gamora looked visibly different. The backstory for the difference was explained as such. The Gamora who was killed off was the current one, and the one who was revived was a past reincarnation of her. Admittedly, somewhat confusing, but hey, we were just glad to have her back. But with Gunn moving on to become the co-CEO of the DC Universe, it's next to impossible to see the Guardians of the Galaxy move beyond 3 films, something that Saldaña called a bittersweet experience. Lastly, Saldaña's sad to say goodbye to Gamora. Gamora was first introduced as an intergalactic misfit who found a home with the rest of the lot on Guardians of the Galaxy. Over the years, we've seen her character transform from a reserved, almost standoffish character to someone who holds nothing but love in her heart for the rest of the Guardians. From forming a sisterly attachment with Nebula to becoming Pete Quill's love interest, she's had one of the most interesting character arcs in the entire franchise. Her role went up a notch when she sacrificed herself for the greater good in Endgame. And while it's unclear what Gunn has planned for the Guardians in the final film, one thing's for sure, there won't be another appearance of any of the characters in the MCU, at least not for the foreseeable future. Saldaña talked with Entertainment Weekly about the whole ordeal and called the threequel a sweet departure from the role. She claimed that she felt bitter towards the start of filming because she knew it'd be the last time she'd have her face painted green, but that while filming and reconnecting with the cast and crew, things became sweeter. The right way to end things bittersweetly. If filming proved to be such an emotional experience for the cast, there's no telling just how affecting it will be for audiences as well. We'll find out when Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 comes to theaters on May 5th, 2023. That's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. Are you excited to see Avatar: Way of the Water? Do you think Saldaña should have stuck around for more MCU films? Let us know what you think in the comments down below. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more. We'll see you in the next one.